Manitoba is in no position to be able to say no or resist a pipeline. Not only does it have the pipeline, which brings refined gasoline from Saskatchewan into Winnipeg, without which you wouldn't have much energy. So they can't say no to existing pipelines, but it collects $4.6 billion annually in equalization payments. And that's not to say that we shouldn't see these things happen. Quebec, as we know, is 13 billion plus. We know that provinces in Eastern Canada haven't considered have-not, and therefore take from the wealth of the nation. But the wealth of the nation can only be sustained by the things that make it economically viable. And if we have an automotive sector that's falling, we have an agriculture sector that's under threat, the only real viable engine, which is the number one driver of the economy, like it or not, 10 to 15% of your GDP is oil and gas. So for Wab Kinew to basically say, hey, look, I'm not going to agree to this, not only forestalls the idea of a pipeline that could be delivered to tidewaters at, say, Hudson Bay, it also means no future pipeline could cross Manitoba's border unless there's a bit of a shakedown. I don't believe Federation works on shakedown. What's in it for us? Pay us some more money and we might approve it. I don't think that's the way the country works. And I don't think we can have, as Pierre Elliott Trudeau once said, the federal government serving as head waiter for the demands of 10 provinces snapping their fingers. Look, what is collectively important for the country is to be able to resist what's happened south of the border, but also to get our number one and most valuable asset to world markets that 13 or 14 world leaders who are our best trading partners have asked for. So I think it's a little short-sighted, and perhaps I would say in all due respect to Wab Kinew and the Premier of Manitoba, it's a little selfish for them to go around saying, give us some grift. Let's shake you down a little bit before we can approve these pipelines. Either we're for Canada or we're not. If Mr. Kinew wants to take a position that says we're not doing enough, well, he only needs to look at his own province. If it were not for the benefits that come from oil and gas, he wouldn't have $4.6 billion to help his provincial constituencies, of which I was once a member of. So I think it's critical that the Wab Kinews of this world, I'll leave aside the fact they're New Democrats and they don't understand how business works, but I think in Wab Kinew's case, I think he should take a very clear look at where Indigenous groups are engaged on these pipelines and the exploitation, the development of our resources, which the world wants. This is going to benefit everybody. And it's time for Wab Kinew to put up, as we say in the old verbiage, shut up and get on with supporting a country from coast to coast, as opposed to one-off, I'm going to stand up for my own selfish interests in one part of the country.